All right, welcome back to another episode. Boom, we're in. Welcome back to another episode of Lookout Podcast. I'm joined by fire legend himself, the Flathead Superintendent, Borg.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you
Appreciate
for coming.
it. Very
man.
kind. Very kind words.
Man, well, we were just talking right before, and I told him to repeat this is, you know, everywhere I go in fire, man, like people know who you are and know what the crew's about. And like I said on our first podcast, one of the big, you know, this was one of the crews I want to be on. You know, if you're like top 5, top 3 picks, and you know this was definitely high on the list. And I was just talking to my friends that jumped a little bit. Patrick McGonigal on the way up, and he's like, "Give Borg a hard time for me for not ever hiring me."
I mean, there's been so many good folks over the years. I wish I could have hired them. I mean, we just don't have the kind of volume of turnover. It just, I don't know. It's hard to get on, and historically has been. I mean, even back when I was trying to get on the crew, it was tough. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. We've had a lot of really good souls kind of pass by, but I don't know. I guess that's a good problem to have.
Oh, awesome problem to have, dude.
Yeah.
And what I was going to talk about too is this is a special podcast for me because you're in your last year of retiring.
This is my last year with the crew.
Yeah.
Field season. I'll be working through April, so big retirement party, April 25th.
Yeah, awesome, man.
And I like to party.
I was going to say maybe I'll come crash that.
Come crash the party, yeah.
Bring the old silver bullet. And
yeah, do it. Yeah.
Come hang
sure.
out.
Yeah. I'm hoping there's a good turnout.
Yeah, I bet
there will be.
Oh, I suspect there will be for sure, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's all people need is a date. You know, they see your name and a date.
April 25th.
They'll be
It's
there.
a Saturday.
Man. Oh, even better.
Got all day Sunday to heal up.
Yeah, perfect, man. Come out and enjoy some good company.
You got to sign a non-disclosure order though before you come in the door.
Yeah, leave the phones at the door. Leave all the cameras and phones at the door.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the way to go, man. And
That's
it'll be
that's
like
the Clemmy Falls way.
Yeah. Well, you were just saying you're from here, huh?
Yeah, I raised in the Flathead Valley and went to high school and all the school in Clemmy Falls. And I feel very fortunate to have got to spend a life and a career working right out of here, close to home.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that's as much to do with a longevity in one place here, especially hotshotting, because you know aunts, uncles, mom, dad, brother, extended family around for all the time that I was gone.
Oh yeah.
So that support network for
The home front.
filling everything, you know, dead batteries or rides to here, there, or the other for kids, everything else. You know, without a support network, that can be pretty tough.
Oh, 100%.
For people. So that was a real luxury, a blessing for me.
Yeah.
Definitely made it doable.
Yeah, and that's a good aspect. I don't think I've even touched on the podcast. Really, is the home front when you're gone for 2-3 week assignment, and something goes wrong at the house that needs your attention. You know.
Yeah. No, that definitely. Like I said, I just feel blessed for that because I don't know that it would have been doable without that support network.
Yeah,
so that's good.
No, that's awesome, man. Oh, and then we're just saying too the care you have for the crew and the community because you're from here, so it's not just a
that's a real source of pride for me. You know, the crew is really well known up here. You know, like the farther south you go, the more, I guess, you know, you get into Missoula. You know, smoke jumpers are around, so you're kind of having to share the stage with more and more people. But up here, I mean, we've got the district crews and DNRC, and that's about it, you know. Yeah. So, and they're all great, but there's a lot of, I know for sure there's a lot of sense of pride in the community for the crew. I hear it all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot, I call them the alumni, but there's a lot of alumni all the way back to the 60s crews and for sure the 70s that, you know, you'll be walking through the grocery store or whatever if you got any crew stuff on and some dude will come up and be, hey, are you on the crew? And or were you on the crew? And you know, immediately strike up a conversation. And what's interesting, those guys all have a ton of pride in the program. Matter of fact, like every spring we get 2 or 3 or more dudes swing in. They know about the time we're starting and they'll knock on the door. Or next thing you know, you'll turn around and there'll be some old guy standing in the cache like, hey. Cool. And we drop everything.
Yeah.
Whatever we're doing, I don't care what we're doing. We drop everything and they have our undivided attention. And the stories those folks from crews from the past have are just will blow your mind.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. The 70s were some of the 70s stories
Oh,
I heard from
man.
the 70s were pretty rowdy.
Yeah, they were awesome.
They were awesome, man.
I tell the guys that all the time. You know, we all sort of wander around in our own self, okay? And being in this industry, you kind of, after a while, start thinking you're pretty tough.
Yeah.
We ain't tough, man.
No.
Those guys, they were tough.
They were tough, man.
They were tough.
Out there in jeans and like...
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's like, it seems to be a little bit in vogue to gripe about fire lunches or food or water or what, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not marginalizing that. You know, there's a lot to be said for nutrition and hydration.
Yeah, there could be some improvements.
But like those guys went out to the field with an apple and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a Snickers.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And just,
Carrying 2 canteens.
yeah.
And they, you know, I mean, they were gnarly.
They were not...
They were rugged. They were gnarly.
No work to rest.
No,
you know, they're
none
just
of
going
that.
until the job is
Yeah,
done.
and that, you know, that's awesome.
It's awesome, man.
It's so awesome.
I know, because
So props to them, man, because it's like, ugh.
absolutely, man. So I do. I'm so glad you guys do that as a crew too, because I do the same thing in my personal life. I mean, that's part of why I started this podcast. All these cool stories I kept hearing from people, because you know, like you said, when you're in fire, just you run anything fire related, in Montana especially, you run into somebody who's fought fire somewhere or was on some epic fire, like the Yellowstone one's a big one for us, you know. And it's like, oh man, I got to be somewhere, but I want to clear my schedule and just hear what you have to say, because that sounds awesome, you know?
Right. 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah, those guys were great.
Oh, no, it's like guys warm up their coffee in those hot pots in the middle of nowhere, Yellowstone, you know, and like cooking food in them. Like, that's so cool, man. Stuff I never got to do.
Yeah, and I mean, just some of the other stories about their antics.
Yeah, yes.
You know, like off work and
Yeah.
the stuff they used to get. It was just a different time.
Oh, it was,
you know?
man.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I really wish I could go back in time and live some of that with them. Just, I'm not saying I would survive it, but
Yeah, totally.
just at least be a fly on the wall for it.
Yeah, just gotta hang out and see it.
Hilarious, yeah.
Oh, it's been hilarious. And
Gnarly.
we did so many things, I think, more like in-house and kind of like, you know, there's a job to do, figure it out, you know, like building signs, like those kind of things too. So like just these rugged dudes are out just like probably fighting and partying the night before, and they go and make this
100%.
awesome sign the next day and go.
Well, I think I said in the last interview, I mean, this crew it's a reflection of this part of America. Northwest Montana, having grown up here, is a very interesting place. The people here are still to this day that live here are fairly rugged, right? And logging, mill working, factory working, like the aluminum plant, all that, the industry type stuff that was up here, they're all a type of person. I'm not going to use the word non-compliant, but definitely don't have issues with asking questions and not necessarily always conforming to the status quo. And
Which is a good thing.
which is great,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, so the crew has always been a reflection, in large part, of the demographic we operate in up here.
Makes a lot of sense.
Henceforth, some of the ways we kind of do business. I mean, there's definitely things we do different. I won't say better, I won't say worse, okay? Because every crew has their flavor and they have their ways. And what works for them is great. I'm not criticizing that. I'm just saying that's a lot of why and how we are the way we are. So.
Oh, man, I love it. I think that's what the big draw too for a lot of folks, especially in Region 1, for what you guys do, you know, the method to the madness, as it were. And
Yeah.
and like you said, everyone's got their own flavor, and there's, you know, like there's a more like military, super strict, you know, regimented crews,
Yeah.
and then you got your, you know, all the way to different crews that are super laid back. They don't want to think we're type 2,
Yeah.
and, you know, in between, and that's what makes it great, because then you can find something that kind of suits your speed or the speed you want to get to, right? Like if you're looking for more of that military conformed kind of lifestyle, which is great, you know.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if you're, you know, if the entire crew is made up of pretty young folks, you're gonna need more structure just in the name of safety.
Yeah, more of a firm hand.
But that's just not been our reality. Our folks are a little older. You know, average crew age on the crew is 30.
Yeah.
So they're older men and women. They already have the discipline and things they need to get through without some of that other stuff. But Again, I'm
Absolutely.
not criticizing any other programs. I totally get and see and understand why that is. So yeah,
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. And being on the Great Northern and getting a chance to work with you guys, as a squad boss and as a crew boss trainee, like you said, young
perfect
kids.
example.
Yeah, young kids just right out of school. Most of them are just into college, and really great to work with because they're so excited about everything and they really
Absolutely,
want
a
to be
lot of
there.
energy.
A lot
Yeah,
of energy,
yeah.
love PT and love talking a little trash. It's easy to get them to like get competitive
Mm-hmm.
and really get a lot out of them. But like you said, you got to be on them a little bit more and like be a little more careful and watchful. We're
Yeah,
which I really enjoy the decentralized command type of leadership, but it's harder to do when you got those younger folks.
100%. Yep, yep. Yeah, what you just said, decentralized command. That's important. I mean, that was one of the tenets that really all the Forest Service was founded on, which would be interesting to see how this all plays out as decentralized decision making gets nipped away at
Feels like it's
more
being
and more as
yeah,
we move into the future. I mean, ultimately, to me, really everything comes down. We're funded by the taxpayers,
yeah,
so the taxpayers demand appropriate spending of their money, and they should.
yeah,
I'm a taxpayer too, and so when I say everything kind of comes down to money, that's ultimately what it is. And so having full understanding of where every penny goes, that's I think that's why there's more and more command decisions made at higher levels to ensure what is being said and how much to each. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
ultimately, it all comes down to money.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because and now I think can pretty much even look up like the cost of each
Mm-hmm.
fire, if they Google it, and so it like, well, what are we spending on that, and
Yeah,
if
it's been my experience up to this point. The decisions like that so far have not necessarily trickled down to battlefield conditions, and I really hope that is maintained.
same,
So it's one thing to talk about funding for a program, and to be fair and clear, it really hasn't had a lot of effect, at least on my program. But I'll say this: the Flathead National Forest supports us very, very well. I mean, I go everywhere, man. I talk to a lot of soups. And we are supported exceptionally well, not only by the region, but by our forest. Now, a lot of that is earned, right, by not wasting money or playing games with all that stuff.
yeah,
So, with regards to like vehicles and supplies and discretionary funding, let's call it, right? Like where we send people for training, how we go about training, all those things, we've had a lot of latitude because it's all on the up and up.
yeah, yeah,
So that's earned, but it's also given. Okay. When we go to when we're out on fires, by and large, I actually can't remember a time where we weren't given the decision space to operate effectively, and it was not well received. There may be a handful of times where I was kind of scratching my head about like, really, this is what we're doing.
yeah, yeah.
But
Is it the best plan?
really, those moments I had like that, it's not that it was unsafe. It was just more like this is the best use for us. But
Yeah,
there's always going to be those times where you kind of get stuck in that moment where that was the decision. So
yeah, it's safe and we can make it
yeah, it's
happen.
safe. We can
Yeah,
do this. So let's just do it and get on to the next one. So,
yeah,
but
totally.
that's honestly, man, that's pretty rare.
That's great to hear
It's pretty rare.
because that's the worry.
It does happen,
Yeah,
and maybe that's, I really don't want to speak out of line because that may be happening more than is happening to me,
yeah, true.
or us with the crew.
Because that's
So I'm speaking for me.
yeah, totally.
Let's say that.
Yeah, yeah. I think
I'm
that's
just not seeing it as much as maybe others are, but at the same time, I'm not hearing a ton of chirping about it either. There's always some.
which is great to hear. 'Cause I think the tendency for folks who are unfamiliar with like Type 1 crews, especially hotshot crews,
Yeah.
see it more as that robotic
Yeah.
because the capability. hotshot crew, healthy, fresh, can do a lot of work, man.
Yeah,
Like,
as a matter of fact, I would say it is exponentially on the order of hundreds of times better now with regards to crew movement and crew allocation
oh, good.
than it was when we started.
That's good to see.
Yeah, so that is but a lot of that has to do with like technology, communication,
Yeah.
effective communication, and
Yeah, we're getting better mapping and stuff. Like the infrared stuff
Intel.
in the evening. Intel, yeah.
intel in
Way better
general.
Intel, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I worry about is that, like, the high output of a shot crew can do in the beginning of the season versus the end of the season is a little different. And as long as people, like, don't try to micromanage that too much, because that's the only fear I have is, like, the higher levels being like, well, man, like, we can hike these guys, hundreds of miles this week and just hit the rev limiter all the time. And it's like, they're not robots. They can get a lot done, but, like, it's August.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, I mean, even like this year, I don't know if it's still in test or not, but we were tracked.
oh, really?
So yeah, the Dingle Act.
Oh,
Um,
I'm
they
not
had-
familiar.
Yeah, so after Yarnell, it was a congressional act movement. I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever you call it.
Yeah.
It's called the Dingle Act. And I want to say it was 2 or 3 years after Yarnell. The order was, okay, we're gonna, and it was particularly to large incidents.
Oh, gotcha.
We're gonna start keeping track of resources, and the the reason so that we can see them in real time versus what the fire's doing in real time,
Yeah.
in order to alleviate something like that happening again.
Yeah.
So, but getting the technology and the money investment, frankly, again, it always comes back to money, but getting the technology up and running to do that, not only on the vehicles, but on our person that we carry.
Yeah.
And then the investment in that, it took a while, right?
okay.
So finally this year we were issued these they're little GPS units for the crew.
Oh.
And then the trucks all have them. So like the EGP sites and stuff, like if you have access to that stuff, depending on your level of authority in the government, you could see where we were at
Oh, whoa.
all the time. Yeah, even right down to like where we're standing on a piece of fire ground.
Oh, geez.
Now, a lot of the fires we go on, like the type 3 or smaller, where we're just run in, hammer down on something, get out. That's not as much where it's kind of important.
Yeah.
It's more like the big type 1 fires, and you can kind of see where everybody's at and where they're deployed. But yeah, no, they're tracking us. And it's the same concept as when they're, situational awareness on when you're in combat in a battlefield,
Yeah.
tell where friendly forces are versus not. And
That's exactly
where
what
people are, so they're not getting bombs dropped on them or whatever else,
Yeah, exactly.
however it plays out in a combat scenario. That it's the same kind of
Yeah, that makes
philosophy.
sense too. Because imagine if I was like, an IC Type 1 at an incident command post, and
yeah.
I'd be like, wait, where's the fire going? Wait, where are these guys at?
Yeah, yeah, there's that. Now, it doesn't really seem to, because you're never going to replace solid foundational aspects of engaging fire.
Yeah.
LCES, right? Ingress, egress. You're never going to replace that with a piece of technology.
No.
Right? So it just didn't really come up very much in terms of, or that I know of, because I'm on a team, and I mean, it's not like you got some ops chief sitting in a tent somewhere. Well, that one's been sitting still for an hour. Like, oh, that's too. It didn't. It's not really. It doesn't seem to be playing out like that.
That's good. Cause that's
there's a lot of fear out there about that.
Yeah, because that'd be my worry.
Yeah, but I would say that when seatbelts came out, there was a lot of fear about, what if you get trapped? I mean, it's like,
yep. Well, phones, all those
I
things.
don't really think it's going to be as big a deal as maybe some people think it's gonna. It's more the philosophy of it that I think people kind of have a little bit of trepidation with.
Yeah.
But like everything, given enough time. I mean, eventually, everybody's carrying a cell phone anyway.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll be one device. I mean, you remember back in the day when you had a cell phone and a GPS unit and a radio
Yep.
and a spot,
Oh,
and well, spots are more recent, but like
A cell
you had
phone
all these
booster
very,
and stuff.
and maybe a calculator because your telephone didn't do, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you had
exactly.
all these little pieces of tech. Well, now the phone
Consolidates.
consolidated most of that, right? And so eventually, I suspect we'll just all have one device. That's probably the radio, the phone, the tracker. It's like your device.
Yeah.
And that's just
Gets issued.
that's
to you.
just what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Yeah, because even like tablets are starting to go away more with the technology on phones now. So
Yeah.
everyone used to have a tablet with all their maps loaded on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. It's a
Yeah.
perfect example. We had a tablet, you had a phone, all
Yeah.
those things to keep track of, and now it's just all one thing. So
Yeah, totally. Man.
eventually, that's what it'll be. In fact, I was a post fire in the Clarinez. Some dudes from Boise were there, and they were testing tech that had it turned the phones into a radio.
Oh, whoa.
So they had you could hit a repeater and you had TAC on your phone.
Whoa.
Yeah. The only thing we figured out, and they went to a few fires testing this, and it's just an app you download, but it basically turned your cell phone into a radio.
Oh, man.
Okay. Push to talk, press the button, whatever. It really drained batteries fast.
Oh, really? Just pushing
Like
that signal?
Yeah, you suck batteries. But eventually, you'll get something akin to a clamshell for your phone that'll jack in, and
Oh, yeah, for sure.
and then power won't be an issue. So
No, and the solar technology.
So
better.
I mean, I think you'll be seeing that in the next 3 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, technology's going fast, man. It's gonna be weird in a few years, and man, you'll be retired, kicking back, watching it all happen.
I don't know what I'll be doing.
Well, you probably might be on a team or something at that point. Huh?
Yeah, I've got good quals, so
Yeah.
I'll that's probably what I'll do next is do some team stuff, and
Yeah.
I like that stuff. Teams are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, when I
super
was
cool.
young, I had zero interest in it. Because when you're young, you tend to think you have a real us versus them kind of a thing,
Yes.
And then I guess it was my mid-30s or so. I was like kind of looking on the other side of the fence and,
Yeah, what are you guys up to?
yeah, what are they up to?
Yeah.
And it was more like I got curious about what was, the saying, how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, I kind of don't like that saying because everybody says it, but
Yeah.
I was curious about what was going on behind the scenes that was leading to where we were at any given time.
Yeah.
And then I stepped off the crew for a couple years. I did some details, some like AFMO details to advance my quals. And I got rostered with a team for a couple years. And I was like, oh yeah, this is
Pretty cool.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. And great guys.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that part of it, I would really like is like the hang. Because that's what I miss from jumping. One of most things, just like the hang. Just being with a great group of folks.
Well, what I learned about teams is a team is just a big fire crew. And organizationally, it's more or less sort of set up like a hotshot crew. I mean, I'm not saying that the caliber of a section chief is on par with the caliber of a senior firefighter or a lead firefighter or a squad leader or captain. The jobs are very different. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, like, in philosophy and the way you communicate and then just like the human dynamic of it all, a team is just a big fire crew. And the way it mojos is it's just a big fire crew, man.
Uh-huh.
And once I saw that, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's how this works.
I could do this.
Yeah, I can do this. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That sounds good too. Because I never messed around with it. I've been, now that I'm not in primary fire anymore, I've been in and out of camps a little bit more. And guys I came up with now are, in those teams positions. Like Joe Sampson is one of my big mentors coming up. He's from Whitehall too. So,
Yeah, I got to work with Joe this summer.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah,
Huh?
that was the first time I got to work with Joe for that kind of direct. I mean, I've known Joe for quite a while.
Oh, I bet.
And I had mad respect for him, but then I got to work with him on the post fire, and we had so much fun.
Oh, he's a great
Yeah,
guy.
he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just small town Montanans, like yourself, me, and Joe, and it's awesome because it meshes so fast. You're like, oh, yeah, we're cut from the same cloth here, Yeah, and so that's my little bit of experience with the team stuff, but it had me interested because I always had a lot of respect for Joe as well. You know, like him being my mentor growing up, and I was like, yeah, I could maybe do that someday. You know, so
Yeah, teams are fun.
trying to keep my toe
Yeah,
in the
and
door a little
and the
bit.
thing is, man, you're still getting to fight fire. It's just different,
Yeah,
you know. But dude, honestly, like for me, I've, I feel I have been on the fire ground.
I was gonna say how many
Yeah.
seasons now?
33 total. 28 on the shot crew, 2 jumping, and then some time, like I said on the last podcast, a couple years fighting fire in Texas, a year on the district here.
Yeah, dude, your wheels are in great shape.
Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah, for
I
33
mean,
years.
the prosthetics help.
Yeah. Oh, do you have replacement knees?
I've
New
had
knees?
2 back surgeries and no hips,
Oh, hips. Oh.
bilateral hip replacement.
Does that seem like a thing? I feel like I'm running into more guys even my age that are having hip replacements.
I mean, I'm
From
borderline
Hotshots.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, just all the riding snowmobiles
true.
recreationally a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Playing football when I was a kid. Like
Yeah.
I beat myself up,
Yeah.
but for sure, overwhelming majority of the, I guess, cumulative damage was hiking and
Pound downhill.
downhill or side hilling, probably more than anything.
Oh, true.
I mean, thousands of miles scouting, cruising through the mountains, side hilling.
Yeah.
I don't know about thousands, but for sure hundreds.
Yeah, for sure.
And that just wears you out. Packing around 40, 45, 50 pounds. I don't know. It depends how much water you're carrying.
Yeah, time of year and stuff.
Time of year, yeah, where it's at. So,
And you always, at least for me, I always forget about it until I'm, lighting on a prescribed fire, and I'm like,
right.
damn, I
Oh,
forgot.
burning.
Yeah,
That's
burning.
everything's side hill burning for miles and miles and miles. You
forget-
can't stop.
No, it's always one leg
everything
down,
everything behind you on fire.
Yeah.
You can't stop.
No, I can't switch positions either.
No, you just got to keep going.
Man,
You swap torches.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man,
Yeah, that stuff is fun though.
it is awesome.
I will
man.
miss that.
Yeah, and those are good hangs too.
Yeah.
Like hard work, and you get to work with a lot of people, and a lot of folks who aren't in fire that come out to support, and they're excited to come out. And I mean, I love those. Those are like little breaks from fire for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That's so good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, 33 years, man. That's a really good run.
It's a good run. Yeah. No, I feel good.
Yeah.
And the truth is, I'm 53. I'll be 54 in July, so
Good
I
time
got to
for
go
that.
sooner or later anyway. Right now, I feel like my crew is in a really, really good spot. I've accomplished like everything I set out to do.
Yeah.
Like on a personal level, my house is paid off. Like I've got everything I ever set out. I mean, it's not that I don't think you ever kind of stop wanting stuff, but everything I set out to want or feel like I needed, I have.
Yeah.
Okay. My kids are going into college and on their way. So, so they're goodish,
Yeah, goodish. Yeah, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, one foot out the door at least.
And then professionally, I mean, I have all the quals and more than I ever wanted. The crew is really in a good spot, like with hiring. The personalities we have at all the key positions are the most amazing humans that I know.
That's awesome.
And right now is a good time for me to step away and turn it over. I've seen people maybe overstay a little bit too long and lose some of that capacity
Yeah.
to the detriment of maybe the legacy of a program.
Totally.
And I don't want that to happen here. And so I feel inside it's a good time to step away.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
And
So I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm really good with it.
That's great to hear. Cause
Yeah.
I was curious about myself. Because like you said, we've seen, I think, anybody who's been in the Forest Service or any probably business or corporation, folks have overstayed and they were
Yeah.
excited about what they did when they started off.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, they're just bitter and nothing's
Yeah.
nothing's right in the world,
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I want to go out on top.
Yeah.
And this was a great crew.
Man.
It was a great crew. I had no turnover,
Yeah.
0 turnover. So Training was lickety split.
That's so awesome.
And our qualifications are like just within the crew as a whole were just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, like when I say the crew, the Flathead Hotshots could literally have taken a branch, complete with a branch director, divisions, task force leaders, felling modules, heavy equipment. I mean, we could have taken a branch.
That is awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And not like pencil whipped quals.
Yeah.
Like legit, large fire, tried and true, through the litany of the real deal training assignments.
Yep.
Real deal quals.
Yep. Take that branch and run with it. Not like
exactly.
Yeah. Not like training or like someone can kind of fill it, because that's what happens a lot, right? Coming up in fires, like, well, you might be a trainee or about to be a trainee. Like, well, we just need somebody, so you just fill it. But those are, like you said, like actual people who've done the job,
Yeah.
can do the job.
Yes.
In those positions.
Yes.
Like, that's impressive.
It was impressive.
Man.
Yeah, it's a great crew. So
That is cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, and they'll be going out on. You said this was a 60-year anniversary of the
the
crew.
60th year, 60th year of the anniversary. Yeah.
Man.
So the crew. So 96 was my first year on the crew. So it was the 30th year anniversary. So I've been here through the 40th year, 50th year, and then this year the 60th year anniversary.
Oh,
that's cool.
Very cool. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Not too people can say that.
Yeah.
Man. And then, like, you know, having that ability to have a branch, right? That kind of shows that decentralized command we were talking about and
Yeah.
touched on before. And
Yeah.
and me and Pat, I was talking about before, we were talking about you and other good leaders setting up that decentralized command where, like, you have like no turnover rates. So you have these folks who you know how they operate and you know what their capabilities are, and I'm just guessing here, and you kind of know how to, like, give them that room to push them a little bit, room to fail a little bit.
Yeah, you got to.
Is that what you? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's hard.
Yeah, I bet, because it's got like watching your kid probably like struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. And as long as they, so in that philosophy, as long as they're not doing something that's like a catastrophic failure that's going to cost life, but like this industry, there's 1,000 ways. You know, the 1,000 ways to skin a cat.
Yep.
Okay. Realistically, there's 333 good ways.
Yes.
There's 333 okay ways.
It'll get it done.
Oh yeah, they'll get done. It's a little ugly. And then there's the 334 that are like, this is bad.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
As long as we're in the upper 2/3, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, really, because, and for the most part, my experience has been, it's the upper third, right?
Yeah,
If they, yeah,
they were
maybe it's not maybe the way I would do it, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if the decisions fall somewhere in the middle, that's still, as long as no one's going to get killed, you got to let people have the space to learn.
Oh, totally.
And then if there's something, I'm like, oh man, there's definitely, then you just discuss that.
Yeah.
As long as it's not really a catastrophic outcome. And there's some people, I've seen some of that.
Yeah. Stuff happens.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, out and about. I can't think of anything within the program that really, anybody that has ever come through the program that I would have had questions with regards to that, they weren't here very long.
No, and that's what I was going to point to too, is like, if you're going type 1, you're an overachiever personality anyway, so like, you want to make Papa proud when you finally get the reins.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're gonna go the best you can.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I'm not going to name names, and we've definitely had some people, you know, because hiring it,
you never know what you're gonna get.
not always. So we've had a few,
Yeah.
not so great employees over the years, good humans, but just not. Look, man, like I like to build paper airplanes. Really did when I was a kid. That doesn't mean I should be a pilot.
Yeah.
But they're fun to throw.
Is it maybe make a damn good
Yeah, right. Yeah,
airplane,
I've hunted. You know, I can kind of gut an animal.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I should be a surgeon.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Okay, yeah. So like, it's just not this isn't for everyone.
Yeah,
and that's okay. And people should have the space to figure that out too. But
yeah, totally.
there's been a few that was like, you need to
move along.
You need to find something else to do.
Yeah, totally.
And that's okay.
Yeah, totally. And then Another thing I think that's great working for somebody like you, and this is not even just my opinion. This is, because it's going to sound like lip service, but it's like me and Pat were talking on the way up. It's like when you have a good leader that sets you up for success, the like more intangible things you kind of feel like the trusting the hairs on the back of your neck.
Yeah.
Like, why does this feel bad for me? This looks fine. And like,
Yeah.
but when you have someone like you who's mentoring, you can ask those questions, or at least you're getting those slides, and you can avoid some of those bad situations.
Yeah.
With some help, I guess, with some training wheels.
I'll be honest with you, man. I have operated out of my gut or intuition so much in my career. And there's a term for it. I can't remember what it is, but you kind of have kind of two categories of leader, kind of operator types.
Yeah.
You've got your people that are very analytical, and so they'll really analyze things all the way out, run through all the possibilities. And those types of people are very good leaders, but historically don't, that they'll come to decisions fairly slowly, but they're really good decisions.
Yeah.
They just,
Safe sound.
it's just their way is to really analyze every single thing. Okay. That's not my way. Mostly because I don't have a super developed analytical brain.
Yeah, so the brain to the
I am. I have operated out of instinct a lot, and again, I'm not saying one way is better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
Just talking about me. I've operated out of instincts, and I've historically come to my decisions very fast. I just didn't always understand why I necessarily came to that decision. It was only in reflecting on those decisions later on that I realized why I made those decisions. And most of it is out of experience,
Yeah.
right? Seeing things. Now I suspect you're only going to get away with that if you've been on a lot of fire. You've seen a lot of stuff. So what's happening is inside, even though I'm not actively thinking about it, there's things that are popping up that that are like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that. I might not like recognize it in the moment, but I know that we need to do this, that, or the other, and that's what we're doing. And then later on, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why, because I remember 3 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 15 years ago, I saw someone else do it that way, or we did it this way, and it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
Cause like you said in the moment, like you were 100%
Yeah.
sure this is what we got to do,
Yeah.
and like you don't even have any of that decision space to like waffle with. Like you're just like this is the move we're going.
But what I would say too, though, is having a diverse, especially in your overhead, having a diverse skill set like that, because so I know how I am. So that's like for me, it was always important to get access or try to recruit people that are a little bit more analytically driven.
Yes.
Because you want to be well balanced. You want to have those voices, because there's some power. There's some power to having somebody that can run through the analytics on things real quick.
Absolutely.
I don't just mean the tech side of it. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, so well balanced, that's hugely important.
Yeah.
I call it the chemical, the personality, chemical content of a crew. You don't have a cocktail if it's just whiskey.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
whiskey.
It's just drinking whiskey.
Yeah. You gotta mix some other stuff in there and make it a cocktail.
Yeah, exactly, man. And and you got your glue guys, and you know, like you got all the things that make the crew, like you said, the chemistry in it. Yeah, it makes a good mixture. And I always felt the same way. Like in my whole life, luckily, I don't know what it is, but probably because I've had enough outspoken people in my life, but I never wanted like an echo chamber. I want to hear some opinion. Like, what do you think about this? But if there's some time, like we got to move. Like if I'm the crew boss or whatever, the role I am or I see, it's like, this is the decision because of this is what we got to do right now.
Now, what I will say is, for some reason, I don't know why, I always called it my squirrel. When I get this little, my squirrel will start ticking.
Oh, really?
And several guys on the crew have seen it, and they're like, "How'd you know that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just knew something wasn't right."
Yeah.
But like, I can always usually tell if I'm there, and if I'm there, I'm paying attention. I mean, that's my whole thing. mean, that is the role of running a crew, is pretty much paying attention to everything all the time.
Yeah.
It could be the weather, could be where we're standing, could be where we're driving.
Yeah.
But you got to be paying attention to almost everything all the time, all day long.
And the temperature of your crew.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
So I would so many times looking back, something would start triggering me. You know, some people call it their gut.
Yeah.
I just call it my squirrel. But something's not right. Something's not right. I don't know what it is. I just know that something's not right. And I've learned to, when I get that feeling, stop. Just stop. Everybody just stop. And figure out what's going on. Is it figure out what it is that I don't, or adjust things, pull them in tighter.
Yeah.
Make sure, just run through the commo, make sure things are dialed, make sure everybody knows where we're going or whatever. And I can't tell you how many times within an hour of that we used it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude. See, this is what I was curious about,
Hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Hundreds of times.
And I could totally see it, because as you're even talking about, I'm picturing like the flow state of things, and life's life's a flow state, and you can tell like when all of a sudden the stream's getting a little bit off, or something, the heartbeat maybe is getting a little off, and you're like, because I felt it too, and I've watched something on, I think they're talking about like special operators and having that sixth sense, where like
it's a thing.
Yeah, close call, but they something their gut told them to stop.
Stop.
Yeah,
run something.
Yeah,
something triggers. Yeah, so like for me, when I start feeling that, and I know something's off, I don't know what it is. But I know something's off, and we'll...
Totally, yeah. And I think we're all little antennas, and you get to fine-tune that signal the more you have to do it, especially like you, like on so many levels. And then being able to... I think your brain adapts, right? Because your brain's like... Especially me being a kind of a one-dimensional, not a good multitasker. Like, I have a hard time. But when I become in a leadership position, and leading a crew of folks, all of a sudden I get this bigger vision, kind of like you were saying, where it's like you said, I'm listening to radio commo, watching the weather, watching my crew, wondering what they're doing over there, like little things, and little things start to trigger. And I think that's where it all starts kind of blending to maybe that gut, where it's like things aren't quite flowing here. And
something's off.
Yeah,
something's off.
And I don't know how you teach that, but I think it's very important to have.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, teaching that would be...
I could probably do it on a one-on-one base, like Matt taking over for you or something. Like you can talk to him and have these conversations.
Yeah, well, he's one of them. He's been with me quite a while.
Yeah,
and he's been around for those and seen them firsthand.
Totally. So he's like under the wing,
Yeah, big time. And I've been blessed too. I've had really, since I've been a superintendent, had just exceptional captains.
Yeah.
And so they're all great men. But yeah, I don't know how you would teach that. I reckon you could, again, it's, number one, I think you got to have, in order to tune into that, I think you have to possess a passion for it, a passion for the job, because if you're mired in your own misery because you hate the job, you're probably going to miss cues.
Totally.
Okay. But then to take it a step further, you have to have enough self-awareness to trust what it is, because it's not that easy to stop operations when things are getting askew.
Yeah.
Because you find yourself combating a feeling versus real world timing and tempo of operations. And to create a hiccup in that can be quite a hiccup. Okay. So, and these are just real human dynamics, right? Human behavior. So like dialing in on it and balancing all that, I mean, that's not that easy. No. So there's a lot of things that go into that to get comfortable enough to trust yourself and make those calls.
Yeah, that's true. And then trusting yourself, and like that old saying of know thyself, I think is so important in this, especially in this conversation we're just having, like knowing what you want out of life, like being on a type 1 crew, like a hotshot crew, like knowing this is what you want and you're going to put your full effort into it. And then if you don't, you kind of being maybe the turd on the crew,
Yeah, right. That's funny. There's a lot of people That's like my favorite saying.
The
I
dirt.
don't know if I said this last time.
No, I don't know.
People like have these rallies, great ideas
Yeah.
about how we should do this, that, or the other. I'd be like, man, that is an awesome idea. You really want to do that? Yes. Then go get your own crew.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Right now, this is how we're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's also too, like, as you're building your, like we talked about right before the podcast too, like building your leadership style, like,
Yeah.
like you just tuck that away if that's what you want to do later on. And
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ultimately, that's what you do. You watch people that, I guess we'll call them mentors, coaches, or your supervisors or leaders. Because no one's perfect. I'm definitely not perfect.
No.
I mean, I've screwed up a lot of things.
Best laid plans, man. It kills me all the time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And especially like with me, I would say my downside is back to kind of like my style where I'm like operating off gut a lot.
Yeah.
Well, especially like certain aspects of like supervising people. I mean, I probably said things to people I shouldn't have said and handled various things throughout the years that could have been handled better. I don't, no one's perfect at that. No one's perfect at supervision. We're just kind of all doing the best we can in any given moment,
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely like looking back, there's just a lot of things I would have handled differently, but that's more on like the, HR kind of, and I'm not saying I ever really stepped in any big sticky wickets. It's more like a few lessons learned on kind of how to manage things with, maybe it's a disagreement or whatever. I would say anybody that's supervised for a long duration would tell you that's a masterless art.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't look back and recognize things you could have done better or different, you're probably shouldn't be a supervisor, because there's just so much to learn.
Yeah.
And so many different types of people, and
absolutely, yeah,
just managing people in general. So
yeah, if you're not self-analyzing, you're probably not a very good leader.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Because, like you said, there's always little things you can improve on, and
Always.
And if you're not, your ego is probably getting in the way, And
Always.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting, I don't know, double-edged sword, right? Because it takes a pretty robust ego to do this stuff, but then keeping that in check enough to be human, and demonstrate empathy and sympathy and compassion. I think it's a delicate balance.
Oh, it is, and I think
and admit when you're wrong about something.
Yeah, and be able to like, hey,
no one likes that.
No, because I think we've all had that conversation. Like, hey, man, I came a little hot on that because things were in a bad situation, so I had to get your attention.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think with you especially, man, because everyone knows you care so much. I think a lot of us in the supervisory positions that we've had in fire, it's because we care. So like
100%.
As long as everyone remembers that anchor point of we care, it's like. It's not because I'm mad at you. It's not because I don't like you. It's like you were doing something that was unsafe, or like I wanted to get more out of you. I need to get more out of you at that point.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Like we had some line to put in, and you were just not quite doing it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, whatever it might be. Yeah. And then I was gonna ask you one more thing about the gut or the squirrel. It's like, for me at least, I've experienced where the volume starts to turn up if I'm trying to not pay attention. Do you have that too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I'll start off as a little thing, and all of a sudden it just starts getting more.
And it escalates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's and again, man, it's super hard to put my finger on it.
I got an example.
Well, I'll give you an example. Like, there's been a couple of examples, but like when I was jumping, I had a pretty serious parachute malfunction.
Oh shit!
When I went out the door, it was a practice jump.
Yeah.
When I went out, and I had an okay exit, or at least so said the spotters. But for some reason, we were jumping the DC-3.
Oh yeah.
And that aircraft, I don't know what you know about it, but it's a tail dragger. So it had one wheel right at the back, and it didn't retract. It just the plane flew around with this wheel hanging down there.
Yeah.
But that thing hung down there probably 16, 18 inches. It's a pretty big wheel.
Yeah.
And it just like hung out at the back of the aircraft. Okay. And for some reason when I went out, and we were on static line rounds. Okay. Yeah. When I went out and the chute stretched out to the my parachute deployed, the lines were out, risers were out, and right when the static line broke, or right in there just before because you got that brake tape between the static line and your parachute, right at the apex there. Somewhere in there, right as that thing was unflailing, it's not just like straight, right? It's kind of like all flapping in the breeze as you're getting drugged through the slipstream and in the wind and everything. Well, my chute whipped up and hit that wheel.
Oh, shit.
And they know that because when they studied the parachute afterwards, they found grease, like a grease streak, like a rubber streak right on the upper panels of the top of the chute. So it hit that wheel. Now, a couple things. One, I'm damn lucky the chute didn't hang up on the wheel, because I would have been getting drugged through the air. But it hit so violently that it tore the parachute, and then when the parachute popped open, it blew out.
Whoa.
And it's been a long time, okay? So any jumpers listening, I might have this a little off, okay?
That makes the story
But
better.
I think what I recall is there was like 3 rows of panels, right? You got maybe it's 2, but I think it was 3. You got the upper, you had up towards the top of the parachute, there was like a row of panels that made the upper tier. Yeah. And then there was the middle section, and then there was a lower section, right? Yeah. And my parachute blew through all 3 panels from the apex to the bottom.
The AIN.
The AIN, the anti-inversion netting. Yeah. Yep. And then, so like at the top, at the apex, and at the bottom, it's like, I can't remember what the stitch is called, but it's like hemmed over several times with like 3 or 4. Okay, so the apex and the AIN held, but the entire rest, all 3 panels were blown out. And that hole was so big that 2 people could have walked through it. I mean, it just blew them out. And here's what's funny.
And they say you retire a chute if you could throw a cat through it. And so that's several cats.
No, dude, you could have fit this I mean, it was a big tear, man.
Jeez, dude.
But it was at the very back of the parachute, okay? Oh. So my parachute opens, right? I didn't even know, man. So I look up, and I had you're wearing a jump helmet, okay?
Yeah, and you got a shroud.
And you got the collar on, all right? And I remember I looked up, and all I saw was I had a canopy.
Just blue and white, beautiful.
Yeah, it was blue and white, yeah. And I didn't, like, turn my head back and like do this. I just looked up and went, oh, good, canopy.
Yeah, we're good.
Start flying the parachute, right? So I'm coming down, and I remember, so those rounds, they didn't have a ton of forward speed.
No.
Okay, you had the extended gores on the sides that let air slip out the sides, so that was your control, right?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, while I was flying this chute, I remember thinking, oh man, I want this one. This one really flies really good. Well, dude, as I was descending, I was shooting so much air out the back of it. And dude, mind you, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I knew something was wrong as I was coming in to the ground.
You're coming a little hot?
Because, I had about 8 trainers on the ground. I couldn't hear what they were yelling. All I could tell was they were carrying on. And I was like, whoa, I don't know, something must be up, right?
Yeah.
And my descent rate was a little faster, but mind you, I jumped at 198 pounds in my underwear, right? So I was pretty used to coming in like a pile of crap.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, whatever. I'm coming in hot. That's just how I'd already come in hot several times because I was big.
Yeah.
And so I'm coming down, but I remember I had forward momentum like a mofo. It was great. And I remember thinking, this parachute is awesome. I want this one again.
Yeah,
I swear I had that thought on the way down. I was like, I'm going to remember this chute.
Yeah.
This thing is awesome. So I come in, and I couldn't really tell what the trainers were yelling at me. In hindsight, they were yelling like, reserve, all this stuff. But honestly, so I came in, landed, and it was a beautiful landing. I didn't even feel anything different. And they all come running over to me like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, why? What's up? And they're like, dude, your chute. It's like, did you see your chute? I'm like, no, man. So they like flail it out, and there is this enormous tear in this thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, okay. Well, that's something.
Yeah.
Right? So we bagged it all up and took it back and did a big thorough inspection on it. And
Man, crazy though.
Everything is good, right? I want to say that was my second year. It was a refresher, maybe my second year. Anyway, at the time, I was like, huh, okay. Well, that happened.
Yeah.
All right.
Weird.
Whatever. All right. But here's the interesting thing. So I was going through the spotter check, and Sarah Doring was one of the squad leaders there at the time.
Oh yeah.
I love Sarah.
Sarah's
She's great.
the best.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah,
I
she's
love her.
amazing.
But she looked at me and she goes, "You all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, something's off." And I had a pit in my stomach
Oh, really?
that something wasn't right before we even got on the plane. Now I was young. I was like 28 at the time. And I hadn't really like tuned it in, but I swear to God, that incident was like, okay, you need to listen to that thing in you. Because I'd had a few other experiences in my life leading up to that where I knew something wasn't right, but I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then something went, wheel fell off a car, or
Yeah.
got into a fist fight later. Something wasn't right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Night was off.
After that, I was like, okay, you need to listen to this.
Yeah.
You need to listen to this. Because I did. I knew something was wrong before I even got on the plane.
Damn.
Yeah. And then that happened.
Yeah.
So-
Holy hell.
That
Man.
bought, I guess,
Reaffirmed.
moral of the story. I mean, that's why I tell that story, because that was a kind of a pivotal moment in my life for like, okay, there's something actually here. I don't know what it is.
Start
I don't know. I don't even know if I care.
Yeah.
It's more like, listen to that, trust it. Something's not right. And with something's not right, like change something.
Totally.
So,
Yeah, and I think that's a great message there too, man. It's just like, you know, you don't know what it is, you can't control it, but like just start paying attention because something's up. You know, something's not stirring the Kool-Aid, as it
yeah.
were.
And there's
you know?
been numerous moments, well, pretty much every year, where I would be, I mean, Matt Delaney, I, for whatever reason, been standing next to him, or when something's not right, I'm like, something's not right. He's like, squirrel? I'm like, yeah, something's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah, up in Canada a couple years ago, my squirrel started ticking. I could not. And we were just working on a dozer line. I could not figure out, something didn't feel right. I mean, we had good safety zones. There wasn't a ton of fire behavior. We were snagging, but things weren't like falling over right and left. Couldn't figure out, but something wasn't right. So and I told Matt, something's not right, man. Something's not right. I was like, I'm going to go out and get the trucks and bring them in here, because we'd parked a long ways away, but the whole section of dozer line we'd worked was all drivable.
Oh yeah.
We just, I don't know if you worked in Canada, that stuff can get kind of gumbo.
I know. Yeah. Get last.
Yeah, so like our start point, we were like starting there, and I was like, there's no. So anyway, so I grabbed a couple of folks. We hiked out to the trucks, got them back in there. The crew happened to be at a nice big kind of dozer. I'll call it a safety zone, but it was a big dozer push out, and there was no hazard trees around it or anything. But getting into it was just a wall of poplar and aspen and shallow rooted spruce and all this other stuff.
Tons of fuel.
Mm-hmm. So we got in there, and so there was a couple of crews in there, and several people hadn't made it to that wide area yet. It was like crew was working, and the weather was mellow, like we weren't having winds or anything weird. So I got the trucks in, got the trucks turned around, had the trucks pointed back out, and I was literally like, let's just load up and go back out to the drop point because something's not right. And way off in the distance, there was a thunderstorm. You could see it, but it was a long ways away. And out of nowhere, we got hit by a gust of wind, like 15, 20, maybe a few up to 25, and all of the wood. And luckily, right where I had the trucks parked, the crews had just made it to that spot, which was just like shy, maybe a couple 100 feet of the big wide spot that you were safe to stand in.
Yeah.
But not everybody had made it there yet. And when I say all, I mean 80% of the wood on that dozer line, standing wood, came over.
Oh.
Smashed every single vehicle we had. Everybody that happened to be, the two crews, my crew and another crew that happened to be like right there. And I pulled up there because that's where the majority of the people were. All took shelter behind the trucks, and all of our trucks got smashed.
Dang.
Like, I got smashed in the truck.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
I bet. Man.
Yeah, just a wall of wood came over.
Yeah.
And a couple of the guys that were like between the trucks and the big wide spot, so like behind me 50 feet, if they were close enough to the trucks, as soon as the trees, they ran over and dove behind the trucks. Yeah. And then everybody else booked it out to the big wide spot.
Oh, man.
But then we were in there for another 2-3 hours, cutting all the wood off the truck. Yeah, it pretty much totaled all the trucks.
Oh, man.
Yeah, smashed them.
Damn.
Yeah,
dude.
so that's just another example. Like, I just knew something was wrong. I didn't know what it was. And, you know, and then you can debate, well, should we have been there? Shouldn't we? I don't know, man. Like, nothing about it. That storm was a long ways away. We got no indications of outflow winds. Hadn't experienced any outflow winds up to that point. Yeah. The mission was fairly routine. Snag the dozer line, mop up as necessary. Weren't getting a lot of indications of a dangerous event, you know, and then out of nowhere, man.
Yeah.
And, boom, here it comes.
Totally, man. And that's what hindsight sucks is because, like, everyone says hindsight 2020, but it's worse than that because you can't put yourself in those shoes of when, like, you're doing the best you can with the intel given. Like you said, like, the storm was up far away. You couldn't see a gust coming,
right,
you know? Like,
there was no indication.
Unpredictable winds like
that storm had to have been 40, 50 miles away.
Yeah.
It was a long ways away.
Man. But if you don't pull those rigs up and people have shelter,
I know in my heart, if I hadn't got those trucks there, somebody would have got at least hurt. Because when I say a lot of wood came over, I mean a lot of wood came over.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to go. Because the lee side of the dozer line, the green side, was like a wall of timber 10, 12, 15 feet tall. Oh. Just like, you know, the windrow.
Yeah.
From the dozer push. I mean, so you weren't like climbing over it and all of it. I mean, it was a mess.
Yeah, nowhere to go.
It was a mess. Yeah. So the only thing you could do there as a human was dive behind a truck or sprint the 100 feet or so back out to an area that was safe. So
yeah.
But I mean, the guys that were say 100 feet out in front of me or so, they wouldn't have made it.
No,
they wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, and then
the only thing they had was the trucks that four trucks that I'd parked in the middle of the dozer line there.
It doesn't take.
And much. I didn't know that was happening.
No.
That was just all the squirrel, man.
Yeah. So. Man, I appreciate you sharing that stuff. I think that's important stories to tell about fire and like to trust your gut more, you know, and also like when crews are out there, when wildland firefighters are out there, they're not next to, you know, a nice road or a helipod typically. So if something bad happened, even if it wasn't fatalities, even if it's just bad injuries, how long until you can get those folks out to get the proper care, you know?
Yeah. Yep. I'll say this too. Have you heard of they call it ISAP, Incident Strategic Alignment Process.
That sounds familiar.
Feel like, so I don't know, a couple years ago, the process was developed. I think Nemo had a big hand in it, but because you know how like coming up, we're always talking about the gaps. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got the gap between the agency administrator or agency administrators want for their piece of ground. They got a big fire on their piece of ground that they're responsible for. We got to deal with it in X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the team comes in. And they're looking at it, and they are getting told what it is the agency administrator wants. But then, so they go, okay, yeah, it sounds good. But then they take it, and then they got to make those marching orders kind of work, make sense, right? So then they take what they can do or what they know, at least with operations, and then they, you know, now you're talking to hotshot soups and crew bosses down through the divisions. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know how this works.
Yeah, it just trickles down.
It trickles down, right. Well, along the way, there's numerous opportunities for desires not to be met, right? The breakdown could be between the agency administrator and the team. It could be within the team itself, depending on how a team communicates. It could be between the team and the operators on the ground. It could be between a crew boss or a superintendent and his crew, right? There's all these, because in the end, some sawyer or some digger is gonna like actually do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
right.
totally.
So you can have all these gaps.
Like the telephone game, the classic telephone game.
100%.
Right? Start the message at one end and it's not the same at the end.
100%. Right. Okay. The Incident Strategic Alignment Process, ISAP, was developed so theoretically you had a better common operating picture, at least in understanding of why we are there to do specific things, from the AA all the way down to the first year crew member.
Gotcha.
And if everyone is even doing a decent job of communicating throughout the chain in there, at a minimum, we understand what we as operators understand what the end state should be, so that after all said and done, for the duration of that incident, the product that's left for whoever has responsibility for that is within the realm of mission success.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because even like handing over from like your team times out and a new team comes in, they can just pick up the
and that's
baton,
the other
right?
thing about it is it does, at least in theory, do a better job of like more durable, long-term durable strategy.
Gotcha.
Right? Which strategy is an interesting thing. Like, is you're an expert in tactics, but how much time coming up were you taught strategy?
Not much.
Yeah, right. Yeah, historically, we learned strategy through osmosis.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of thinking we know what we should do on a bigger picture, which big ridge, which road system, which
big box.
Yeah, or even like full suppression.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, point protection, confine, contain, all those kind of buzzwords that go into the suppression strategy. You know, where, how, when of all of those options are applied. That's all historically learned through just kind of doing it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You weren't really taught it. Okay.
Yeah.
So ISAP, that's the acronym, ISAP, Incident Strategic Alignment Process, does do a pretty good job, or at least is a solid poke at having a full comprehensive understanding of all that. Okay. The reason I'm bringing this up is within part of one of the pieces that feeds ISAP, what you just said a minute ago, is incident responder response in case there's a critical injury.
Oh.
So what I'm saying is that is a major factor now, at least in the last 2 years, and that is a place that the operators do have input into said strategies on whether we should or should not be on a piece of ground somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah. So, which is great because, because majority of my career, you kind of had to have a loud voice and be sort of well respected to be like, this is a bad idea having us out here on this mountain face for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I got the 10 and 18
yeah,
sometimes
right.
backing you up.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Or whatever the case may be, right? And so you were like feeding that back up. Well, now, before it's even attempted, those things are sussed out.
That's really nice, man.
It is nice. And that, specifically, that piece of it is probably the piece I appreciate most about it, is the responder risk piece of it, because we have say on that, and it feeds the greater strategy and puts the onus, back on the agency administrator to be like, okay, this is where this rated out, if you will. Do we really want to do this?
Yeah.
Or should we really do this? Is there another option? All those things.
That's good. Yeah.
It at least prompts the conversations.
Yeah, totally. Like best practice, risk versus reward, all those things.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Well, and that kind of also gave me a thought too about like just this conversation here with that in mind, and how things have changed throughout your career and my career a little bit. And I'm out long enough to where I wasn't really aware of that, but having people like you come back and be able to AD on a team is invaluable, because you have all that experience, and then you have these things that you can help incorporate, and then those decisions too. Part of that ISAP process, like starting with you being at the team maybe and trickling it down, and then the handoff to the next team or whatever it might be. It just makes everything more fluid, I feel like.
Right. Your time fighting fire, how many times you remember it was always like you were there for a team transition, and you were like, and you just put in like all this work, and you're just like wringing your hands because you're like, oh, are we going to go from now doing this indirect thing that we just put all this work into, and now we're going to go direct? And that comes up.
Yeah.
If it rains or snows and you were building a big indirect box around something, you're probably going to switch and go direct.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But
you get rumors of who's coming in. You're like, out of region.
It's more like, right. It's more like it's August and it hasn't rained or snowed, but now you got a team transition, and now some new person, there's some new dude that flies over and goes, oh, I think we can go direct on it. And you're like, we tried.
Yeah,
it didn't work. And they're like, try again.
That's what we've been doing.
And you try again for 3 days and just get hammered,
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, well, we're going to go in direct. So that, at least in theory, this process sort of like doesn't create those hiccups like that, because it's supposed to be a long-term durable strategy. So what one team is doing, the next team is supposed to pick up and carry on with that strategy, unless there's been a significant condition change, like it rained or snowed or something like that.
Yeah, totally.
And then you're going to have that.
Yeah, and like putting like actual like hard kind of parameters or like boxes on things, I guess, kind of, because otherwise it's like it was more we felt like we were doing good work here, and then the other team's like, well, we feel like we do stuff here, and like there's just more gray area without having the ISAP stuff, I feel like.
Yeah, because you're dealing with humans.
Exactly.
Right? And a variable degree of fireground experience within said humans.
Totally.
Right? Let alone, pieces of the landscape and experience in different fuel types.
Yeah.
And weather patterns and all those things that play into being an effective, well-rounded firefighter.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Someone spent like the whole career in Region 3 and then coming up here, Region 8.
100%. Yeah. Now you're fighting a alpine fir, a piss fir fire.
Yeah. Exactly.
You don't dig line on those.
Yeah.
It's futile.
Yeah, totally.
You run around and clip things out and keep them from torching.
Yeah, exactly.
You might dig a little line around this little pocket or that pocket, but best thing you can do is like limb everything and just stop the fire spread.
Yeah.
And then mop it up.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but anyway.
Yeah, and then like dealing with like manzanita and stuff, and in the Region 5, like different, more volatile, I guess, fuel types. And, yeah, everyone's got their slides. And then also being able to, I talked to a fellow, this Chief Chad Costa, about it, because he's on a Team 5 or something in California. And he's more of the structure background, but he's talking about trying to blend everybody together, so we all work together and just trying to keep the awareness up. Everyone's got their strengths because they come from different backgrounds, and everyone's got some kind of value with that, and then trying to get even that more ironed out to be more fluid, and just like the relationships on the team. Well, everybody coming from everywhere.
What makes a good crew?
Yeah. What is it?
The same things, right? Be well-rounded.
Yeah.
A team is just a big crew.
Yeah.
And the more diverse your experience on the crew, and the capacity within a crew to communicate and understand that. A team is just a big fire crew, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess here's a question I have for you. I guess I just thought of. If you were taking over a crew fresh, don't know anybody on it, how do you get everybody? And no one knows anybody on it, right? No one's worked together before. How do you get everybody to? What's a good common thing to get people to start working together? What's the glue, I guess?
Well, I guess that would all start in training.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Like,
Do
you have like a hard task to like kind of stress bond everybody?
Yeah. I have my tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my tools. I'll say this. Humans that suffer together and go through the same kind of hardships together, they bond.
Yeah.
That's like a universal truth.
100%.
Or they break.
Yeah.
And they go away.
Yeah.
But we don't want to break anyone, but like people that suffer together bond really well.
Oh, yeah.
So, there's
I feel like some of my funnest moments are from the suffering.
100%.
Someone says something just like ridiculously funny.
It's good for you.
You're all dying together.
It's good for you, man. Yeah, it's good for you. What do they say? What our grandparents say? Builds character.
Builds character, son.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly. It's
Get out
true.
there and pull them weeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's how I was growing up.
Yeah. So I mean, but it's not all about suffering. There's all kinds of aspects of training where you can use various opportunities to embrace varying opinions, variable knowledge sets, skills, and daylight those things so that everybody kind of gets a vision of that and where that fits into all of it.
Yeah.
So that everybody can kind of see the value of all that.
True, that buy-in part, man, that's huge, right? Because if you don't have the buy-in, like you said, or someone doesn't even want to be there, they're not going to, put the effort through and be part of the team.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I'm curious about that stuff is because you don't learn that overnight, and you've got twice the fire experience I have, probably more, and it's always something I've been interested in is like what like folks like you and Joe and all these folks that grew up that were my mentors growing up, and where their brains at your point in your career versus where my brain is here or since I started,
Yeah.
So like looking for little wisdom nuggets from you, I guess.
Yeah. Oh man, that is I think at this point, a couple things. I think what I look back on is I'm astonished at how many truly incredible humans I've had the opportunity to be affiliated with. Now, let me be clear. Fire is a family of sorts, okay?
Yeah.
And any family is going to have varying degrees of personalities within their family, okay? Mm-hmm. And you're going to backbite, you're going to argue, you're going to nip at each other. Family.
Yeah,
family stuff.
Oh, totally.
Right? But you still love your family.
Mm-hmm.
You still die for them, right?
Yeah.
Especially
siblings.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Whoever's listening to this, right? There's anomalies, right? Because, like, every family has that one person. They're like, I'd throw them off a bridge. Okay.
Watch them walk off the cliff.
I'm not talking about the anomalies, okay? I'm talking about the general 80, 90%, okay? Let's leave the anomalies off the table. So you're going to have, like, squabbling and infighting and backbiting. But, like, over the years, when I look back, in general, and I'm going to go 90%. It's probably more like 95%, but I'm a pessimist at heart. So I'm going to fudge another 5%. Yeah. Okay. 90% are in fire. And I would almost extrapolate out to the Forest Service in general, but I'm only limited to those I know in the Forest Service really in general around the Flathead, but it's a great forest. Man, so I'm going to keep it to fire. All right. Okay. They're incredible humans. Okay. These are not the humans that leave their cart out in the middle of the parking lot at Walmart or Home Depot. Okay. These are not the humans that start things at IHOP because they're not happy with the way the egg is cooked. Okay. They're not the humans that, by and large, other people are like, what the hell? Okay. These are humans that, and mind you, our industry is not like the military. Like we're not under orders, right? There is no version of acceptable losses, right? Our acceptable losses are 0. Like that's our marching orders, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't take orders. We are given mission parameters and some expectations of behavior. Where I'm going with this is like, it's all voluntary, right? Everyone, you, me, a couple of the dudes we saw walking past the window here, like the people on the Bitterroot, the Lolo, the Coot, like any forest, any region, anywhere. sign up for this.
Yeah.
Because they want to. And they choose to leave their family or leave their kids or leave the comforts of their domestic life.
Air conditioning.
You name it. Porcelain. Anything porcelain.
Yes.
That you can wash your hands in or sit on
Yes.
to do your business. Okay. Leave that to go to an environment where the stress amplitude goes off the charts. The living conditions go through the floor. Hydration, nutrition, all comes into significant question because of the nature of the job. And they all choose to do that. Now that's not normal. That's not normal. And so when I say these are, they're all humans. Like we're all like none of us are perfect, but I think to bring it back to like what I've probably been thinking about the most lately is how incredibly cool and awesome like everyone that I've ever gotten to work with really is. Even though there's been a handful I didn't really maybe necessarily care for, they still stepped up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, impression in moments where you...
And they still got up every morning at 5
or
4:30. They still volunteered countless hours, a half hour at a time.
Yeah.
Because of some stupid rule set that said you could only work so many hours in a given day. Or figured out how to schlep a crew across an entire country and do the right thing at the right spot and get, like it's the full gamut of like everything that goes into being a dedicated servant.
Yeah.
For something that is like as gnarly as a wildland fire.
Yeah.
It's the humans that choose to do that are just remarkable humans. I don't know what else to say.
No, I think that's
like
well put.
Almost all of them.
Yeah, almost all of them.
Almost all of them.
Hitting the rev limiter, all summer long.
Yeah.
And like you said, and no one's getting rich,
No one's getting rich.
Yeah.
I mean, if you play your cards right, you can do pretty good.
Yeah. You have a good life.
But you ain't going to get rich.
No.
By, I don't know, most people's standard are getting rich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think most people
you can have a good lifestyle, but you ain't getting rich.
No.
But like, I don't know, what's rich?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Is it money or is it lifestyle?
Is it money? Yeah, right. What is it? Is it satisfaction? Maybe.
Being happy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of reward.
Totally, man.
For sure.
Well, and I find that even just the conversation, getting to sit here with you and the folks I get to talk to, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I do this. But just the interactions, right? Like I find that when I was on the fire line, I'd be like, man, I'm just like kind of lucky to be with these humans,
Yeah, totally. Well, and it's it's not just, bringing it back to teams. Like there's a lot of people on teams that are not in fire.
Finance and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Finance and plans and logistics. Like they all have other jobs.
Yeah, security.
Right. Okay. And if you've ever done any time in teams, like it's not all peaches and cream, man. Like there's a lot of stress for people to keep a large fire from going off the rails. Yeah. There's a lot to do.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot to do. And
the IAP doesn't make it sense.
Yeah. Right. And they'll go out, they'll get some overtime.
Yeah.
But that's not why they're doing it. A little bit, right?
Yeah.
Getting paid, making a little bit extra money, that's good. But that's not. They're bent towards providing a service.
Yeah.
And they have skills that are like in their wheelhouse that they're interested in. So they enhance those skills and then they choose and accept assignments and go out and willingly put themselves in terrible situations, at least choose to ramp up their stress and anxiety and fatigue and like all these things. That's an uncommon characteristic. And I know it's, like we're talking about fire, right? And I know there's other industries, nursing or a lot of the medical field. I mean, you could point examples to those types of humans all over the place. But this is a fire podcast, so
yeah, exactly. That's why we're here to talk about fire.
What we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting arrested, actually.
Yeah. The law enforcement.
Law enforcement coming to get us. Went from a fire podcast to law enforcement.
Yeah, see if he knocks on the door.
Yeah, I wonder. He comes say, hey. Maybe he's already aware. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you though. I think that draws us all back every season too, especially like when you're seasonal and you know you want to hang out with the same kind of folks that are putting their time in to do this. You know.
Yeah. The other thing, we're on a precipice for great change, and it's causing a fair amount of angst in the ranks. It is.
I bet. Yeah.
You know, there's I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, the fire service.
Yeah.
People get very comfortable with routine. And we've had a solid routine for ever.
Yeah. Biggest changes though.
And yeah, and there was things that changed this year, and there will be a lot more change. When you use the word change, that's just sort of inherently uncomfortable for people. But I'll tell you what I think about it. I think that change is necessary. Any industry that does not embrace change is doomed to fail. Okay?
Absolutely.
100%. And that's not an opinion. That's not an
true.
opinion. That's tried and true.
Yep.
Okay. So it will be painful. There's always growing pains. Okay. I think for people that are, say, and there's a lot of people out there like this that are still looking at 10 years left, 15 years left of their career.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. And so that, you know, if you're like the person that's like 3 years left or even 5 years left, you're kind of like, just whatever.
Yeah, right.
Or like me,
Right
I'm like, good luck, guys.
I know you're in a great spot because
I am. Right.
2026, right, is when things are supposed to start happening.
Yeah.
You already got most of your way out the door.
Yeah. But here's what I'm going to say is specifically the folks that are at that 10 to 15 year left in their career, this is the opportunity of a lifetime to show your mettle and get involved to the maximum extent you can and be a part of the next chapter of whatever the fire service is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't anticipate that the basic tenets of what we subscribe to is going to change, right? You know, I mean, like the 10 and 18 and look at, you know, LCES and, you know, the basic.
The job's still the job.
Yeah, we don't have robots and, you know, it takes hard humans to go out and put a fire out. Like we don't have pieces of tech, drones or any of that. That doesn't exist. That's not going to exist for a long time.
No.
It's not, right? It still takes
it's
hard-nosed beast humans to like go out on the side of a mountain and turn logs over and squirt water and build fire lines, and it will for a long time.
Absolutely.
Okay. Who writes your paycheck might change, but like a lot of the concerns about that, I don't think those should be a concern. Yeah. In terms of like how it looks in your, you know, your org charts and your supervisory chain of command and how all that looks, that's all going to look very different. But I think for people that stay level and kind of like embrace the change and stay hard-nosed enough to kind of get through some of the growing pains, those behaviors will be recognized and noticed, and it, I think, will create a ton of opportunity for those that got the mettle to get through that 3 to 5 year kind of trials and tribulations of whatever the next chapter is.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is there's awesome opportunities, I think, right on the horizon.
Yeah.
You got to kind of like, but how's that any different than going your first day on a fire assignment where you're looking at this massive elephant you got to eat?
Yeah.
It's like, this is terrible. How are we going to do this?
Day one.
Day one, right?
Yeah.
No, just start taking bites.
Day one. Exactly. Day one mentality.
One bite at a time.
Yeah. And that's a really good point too, man. There's always opportunity and change.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is too, if you've been in fire for a long time, like you have like 10 years left, you have an opinion, you have an idea of things. So it's like if you do it in a very like more like tactful way, you can try to insert that idea into how this all forms together.
Now those are some of the, like, what I see as maybe the pros, and then like the other pros that might come out of that may be like a little bit more streamlined effectiveness in chain of command. Maybe
I was going to bring that up.
Maybe now I'm speculating here.
I mean, yeah,
okay,
but
I'm not saying this is what it's going to be. I'm saying possibly there's benefits.
Yeah.
That 10 years from now are like, yeah, this is great. Okay. Cons, one of the things I'm a little worried about is I don't know how I feel about if we remove wildland fire from land management. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm with you.
I think there's some danger in that. I'm not saying my opinion means what's going to happen. What I'm saying is I think there's a lot of danger in that. Where do wildland fires happen?
Yeah. In the forest?
In the forest?
Yeah.
In the woods?
Yeah.
In the brush?
Yeah.
So being sort of tied to that is kind of important, because it's not like a house fire. It's not like city fire.
No.
It's a different animal.
In
And so,
response.
the opportunities that you're given when you're tied to a land management agency, it doesn't matter whether it's the BLM or Park Service or whatever, the opportunities you have when you're not on fires, but to be kind of ingrained with the mission of said agencies and the service they provide to the landscape, and the variable opportunities that come with just a career of that, play huge dividends when you're actually fighting a fire.
Yeah.
Because ultimately you're going to, whoever has a fire, wherever that is, sooner or later they're going to have to, the fire goes out and then you got this fire scar on the landscape. Yeah, and there's always things that have to be figured out on the hindsight of that. And it is super easy to make just a few not so good decisions that create really long-term detrimental effects on the forest or the ecology or the landscape itself. So
yeah, my brain kind of goes into,
and maybe it's a foregone conclusion. Maybe my worries are unfounded. And also, to be clear, I'm a Forest Service guy, man.
Yeah, same.
Green Army.
Yeah,
okay.
Man. Bleeding
I
green.
mean, no disrespect to anybody else, but
that's what you know, man.
Yeah,
and that brings up some things that from my career too, like starting off, like when we'd have a big fire outside of Whitehall, like the office would empty, like I don't think you'll have it so much because there's going to be the agency.
Yeah, so then, right, exactly.
The fire agencies, like that's their thing.
Yeah, we're not going to get away from needing militia.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like, period.
So how do we integrate that?
Yeah, how do you agree? I don't know. I just, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Again, like, it's, as we sit here today, that's not the case. No. I do think there's probably, some value in alignment of land management agencies and their policies with regards to fire. I do think there's probably some value in that.
Totally.
Now, I can't say that I have enough depth of experience to say that I've seen great discrepancies that were catastrophic, or at least nothing that could be worked out with solid communication. In fact, most of the time it is.
Yeah.
I would say it might be perceived that it's not. But at least from an operator on fires, I haven't seen that as like insurmountable. It just takes communication and understanding that.
Yeah.
Could it be better? Probably, but
Yeah. And like we talked
I
before
don't
this, like the
Yeah.
only thing I could see, or not the only thing, one of the things I'm hopeful for, because the grassroots brought it up too, is that the health screenings all become uniformed and more in depth for us, moving forward, or for the fire folks, not as much us anymore, but so.
What gets more in depth?
Oh, the health screenings, like they're talking about doing like preseason, like
Yeah.
in depth physical.
Yeah.
Physicals, where they do the ECG, electrocardiogram. And
I mean,
chest
so
X-ray.
like, yeah, right. There'll be a lot of things coming down the pipe that are
Maybe some
that-
better retirement
yeah,
things.
Yeah, like I mean, staying on top of cancers and all that stuff is probably long overdue.
Yeah, totally. I had a tumor.
And like, I mean, it won't. How long before? Like once a year, you're going in for your psych evaluation,
Oh, true.
right?
Yeah, that part I don't.
On a random poll.
Yeah. That part I'm not so keen on.
Well, okay, but like, but is it okay? So let me pose you this: like, okay, I was talking with some of the guys about this. Like, should we do that or shouldn't we? I don't know.
I don't either because for me I don't like it, but I don't. Someone else might need it.
But if once a month you randomly across the nation, you randomly selected 300 people. Okay, so over a year's time, you managed to grab somewhere around 4,000. A pretty robust section, right? So that over 3 or 4 years, you were more or less recycling. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Of that number of people, if even, and you know how it'd go, right? And you're in your ready room, you get an email. Next Tuesday I got to go down and talk to the head shrinker.
Yeah.
And everybody's like,
He gives you a hard time.
right? I mean, you know how this is going to go, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I suspect, though, that if even one person was mandatorily sent down there and was like, even though they didn't want to admit it to any of their homies, was positively benefited from that so much that they didn't shoot themselves in the face and end it, all of it would be worth it.
100%.
Okay, so
I agree to that.
let alone, and and this isn't new stuff. I mean,
we've been talking about it for
law enforcement and large city departments.
Yeah,
that stuff's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe we're overdue for it. Maybe we're not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying yes or no. What I'm saying is, I have a hard time believing that if that were instituted, that somewhere down the road it wouldn't probably help one person.
Yeah, totally.
And is that enough?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes. Let alone 5 or 10 or 50.
Yeah. Well, especially, I mean, even showing up here, you said, the guys were taking off for the season, and that's for us in the wildland service, that's the scariest time because that's when everyone goes to wind and you don't really know what they're going away to, like dark apartments somewhere and without their homies and, you could spiral out pretty bad, pretty quick,
Yeah. We, that's the time. I feel like I like the way at least this program sort of phases it out, right? First out are our seasonals, and there's a few of them, 5, 7, whatever. And so kind of like there's opportunities for communications of varying degrees to happen as they phase out.
Yeah.
But for sure, through those opportunities, at least for me, got a pretty good bead on where they're at, what they're doing, how they're doing.
What the plans are for the off season?
Yeah, then the next phase out is like the guys that are leaving today, the 18 and 8 senior firefighters, and there's about the same size, six to eight of them, but same kind of thing. And at least the way our season goes, we have a nice taper down. Like we don't just like it used to be, man. Like you came running in from the last assignment, and the entire crew got laid off except 3 people.
Yeah.
And it was like, bye.
Yeah. See you next year.
Yeah, right. And now that's like shutting a light switch off. Right?
Yeah.
And I don't. But at the same time, I don't remember things being. So back in the day, man, like we did 4 or 5 tours. 600-700 hours of overtime was the metric.
Yeah.
And now it's double that. So like it's more intense. It's more frequent. So
Yeah, I wonder.
yeah. So anyway, so like yeah. So the next wave will be out, but it'll be kind of the same thing, right? And then what'll be left is the permanent staff.
Oh, gotcha.
6 or 7 of us.
Well, I think what helps.
But we're tapering down at least in our tempo too, to where it just basically becomes more of a basic day job. Come in,
Keep the ship running.
yeah, keep the ship
lights
running.
on,
Handle all the things that are administration, all the documentation, all the day-to-day stuff. Yeah, a lot of land management.
Yep.
Helping out with whatever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
where I'm going with this is I feel like, at least for us, we have a nice taper out that isn't like
The truck.
the hammer
Yeah.
of like hero to zero.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. I think that's very helpful for
I think so
people.
too. And then you guys have that pretty open door policy too, of like
Very
people
much
come
so.
in, check in, say hi, like even like folks who weren't even working for you, that
Right.
come in just to say hey, and I think that does their mental health a world of wonders too.
Right. We get a lot of visitors here.
It's so cool, man. 'Cause
It
it's
is
kind of
cool.
not. I mean, it's not off the beaten path, but it's not on the path.
It's not. It's
You
not.
know?
Yeah, it's tucked up here.
Yeah.
Which this area, boy, it gets real sleepy in the winter.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you look at these mountains, right?
Oh,
You're nestled in here, and it is
Beautiful.
especially in like December, January. It's like daylight for like 4 hours.
Yeah, just see a little peak and then gone.
Well, you got this mountains here, so by the time the sun comes up, you got like 4 hours of daylight, but then it's setting over this mountain here,
Yeah.
and then it's just shady, dark here.
Yeah, man.
I come to work in the dark, I leave in the dark.
Man.
I love it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like
A lot of people don't like it. And snow.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like pretty much, I would say the bulk of what at least fire does up here is clean up. I mean, this is how it goes. Right now, we're cleaning up all the things that got broke, wrecked, dirty, hammered through
Yeah.
the season, cleaning up the training records, getting people set up for, we're hiring right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then we'll
get your apps in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah. And then we'll finally get our opportunity to have our time off, which is like basically mid-November through the end of the year, and get our
Holiday
4 to
in.
6 weeks off, get the holidays in, right? But then we'll be back in January and pretty much right away start finishing off hiring the seasonals and whatnot, and then managing snow,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not on fire, but we're under snow, so
Yeah.
you got to
yeah.
keep things moving.
Yeah.
So a lot of snow removal,
I
but
bet,
like
man.
really, and then we get involved in a lot of other training. I mean, there's a lot that goes on a forest that's in the off season. I mean, there's a whole rec department with snowmobiles and snow surveys, and the timber stuff keeps moving. And
Yeah, yeah.
there's a lot. There's
Starting to
actually
ramp up.
quite a bit to do to keep people gainfully employed. Again, I mean,
Which is awesome.
we're paid by the taxpayer, so it's not like we just sit around and do nothing. There's a ton of stuff to do.
Yeah, busy.
But then by like mid-February, we're starting to gear up for training.
Yeah.
And by the time the snow starts coming off the ground in March, now the guys are coming back in, and then it's all about getting that next crew ready. So
Yeah, man.
to be honest with you, there's not really, at least for the full-time guys, there's not really, I mean, outside of half of November and most of December,
And then you got people.
I don't remember the last time I was bored with my job. And
which is awesome.
There's always a lot to do.
Yeah. Well, and then
I mean, we just got done with a super rad project. One of the big culverts up the reservoir there. I don't know when the last time it got cleaned out, but it was getting perilously close to. It had some big trees that were stuck in the. Spring runoff runs all this stuff down, right?
Yeah.
And it had a couple of really big trees stuck through it. All right.
Dude.
And then the root wads were hung up on the entry side, right? And then, of course, it's got beavers around. So I don't know if the beavers built the dam or if it's just runoff. But it was dammed up 4 feet high, 5 feet high, and then 2 massive root wads with the stems of the trees through the culvert. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, like, who else is going to, like, how do you fix that?
Yeah.
Like, what do? You grab some dudes with chainsaws and hip waders and you
start piecing it apart.
You climb into a culvert and start cutting it up and clean it out. Like, I mean.
Well, I think that shows too.
It's that kind of project. So it's like, who else is going to do it?
And that's where the fire has been so good, fire folks, because of the multi-tool aspect to a fire organization. Like do anything, whatever it takes. You bring some.
Yeah, here's another one. Here's one we get pulled into quite a bit. Speaking of people that leave their carts sitting in parking lots, you'd be astonished how many people have a crappy RV or travel trailer, drag it out into the woods on any Forest Service road, USA, live in it for 3 weeks or a summer, and they just leave it there.
Yeah. Someone else's problem.
Right? I just walk away from it.
Yeah.
With whatever's in it. And maybe the tire went flat or whatever. So and then the bears get in it or whatever, animals, and whatever food's in there and trash. Now, now there's trash spread out for 100 feet radius around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tore up.
Or tents, people set up temporary living. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the kind of stuff we do.
I was going to say, it's not clean
to help out, right? Because, I mean, it's not like, I don't know. I think it's just funny. Like, people think, well, my taxpayer dollars should take care of that. It's like, well, what do you think that there's a forest crew? There's like a forest trash disposal.
Oh yeah.
Like that doesn't exist.
No.
Like at least Forest Service is like staffed to the extent that it should be, but that doesn't mean there's like trash disposal crews and people that just drive around looking like that. So that's a collateral duty, and we're happy to accept it. Like, I hope it's not being taken like I'm complaining. What I'm saying is, like, there's always tons of other things to do that aren't just fighting fire, that are helping out with that stuff. And frankly, that stuff's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like, because it's different.
Yeah, different. Yeah. Part of your brain.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily like picking up diapers and stuff, but like, whatever, that's what tongs are for.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that. My point is there's a lot of things to do when you're dealing with a piece of land, millions of acres in size. So
and to keep it functional for the public,
right?
Right,
exactly.
The access, and I mean, even on the small scales.
I mean, structure firefighters go get kitties out of trees.
Yeah,
I think, right?
Yeah, right. That's
it's not on fire, but it's something fun to do.
Yeah, totally. Go help. Absolutely, man. Mm-hmm. Well, then on that line too, before I let you go, man, first summer fire free coming up. Any big plans?
I mean, dude, I like fighting fire, man.
Yeah, no, I know.
do. I dig it. I just think it's so fun. It gets back to the people. I dig the people for the most part.
Yeah. It's intense camping.
Right. So I'll if called upon, I'll go out do some team stuff.
That'll be cool.
I do like that. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
They're also, it's all team. I mean, it's all crew.
Yeah.
Right? So I like crews.
Absolutely, man.
Teams.
Yeah.
A lot of people say team, football team.
Football team.
Yeah, but for me it's crew. But it's all crew.
Yeah.
And it, it's still incredibly meaningful, and let me make a little bit of extra money doing that, and I'm.
If you had like so many days you're going to try to be on the water or something.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. To be honest with you, right off the bat, I might just take a month and do nothing.
Yeah.
There are some projects I've got lined up, but I also wouldn't count out if the right opportunity came along. I could see continuing to work full time for another agency or something
Oh, absolutely.
for a
Especially
little while.
yeah, especially
But
with the fire agency thing coming
yeah,
along.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Opportunity
I
there.
haven't really locked into anything. I'll say this: if I did nothing and just kind of like lived off what I've socked away and whatever little ticky tacky projects I wanted to take on the side, like out of my own shop, I would be just fine.
Yeah.
I think I would get bored after a while.
And that's part of the reason why I ask, because
Yeah,
the transition everyone talks about out of fire,
Yeah.
is a tough one sometimes.
And the truth is, man, like even at 53, I still like going on fires. Like to be honest with you, I still like my job.
Yeah.
Okay, but I I like going on fires. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I dig it. I just think they're so fun. It's mostly the people,
Yeah.
but just the edge. I think it, operating with that stuff kind of keeps me sharp and
Yeah.
engaged, and I don't know. I like it. I just think they're so fun. No matter what you're doing,
Yeah, totally.
whether you're running the dang thing or you're out on the side of the hill, it's just.
Yeah. The
I
smells,
just
the
have always
sounds,
thought
the
the whole
people.
thing was just super fun.
Yeah. I'm with you, man.
What a great way to live your life.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, man. And
Mhm.
and I think fire puts more things in perspective. Like you said, you get some
Yeah.
time to reflect on some things when things slow down, or also like some close calls. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like I value life a little bit more because of my fire experience.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. Well, shoot, Borg, I don't think I got much left for you, man. I don't want to keep you, but man, it's an honor to have you, man. Thank you so much for coming on. And
No, man, the honor's mine. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate you,
It's
dude.
been a great ride. Being affiliated with this crew is by far and away I don't even know if I have words. It's been the greatest pleasure I could have ever hoped for. I feel incredibly blessed to have fallen really into the opportunity to be here, and I the pleasure's 100% all mine. So thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing. And I mean, and it's proof is in the pudding, right? Like not the best phrase, but that's the best thing I can come up right now. But like just being around the guys that have worked with you, the folks that have worked with you, even at the banquet, right? Like you're probably used to it, so you don't see as much, but I could see so much like revolving around you, and like just the respect and the guys that I'd never met before, and they're like, you gotta get Borg on, you gotta get Borg on.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I know, I gotta.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And,
I don't know. I love them all.
oh,
I
it's
just think
great.
they're awesome.
Well, that's what shows that you're doing a great job, man. Is because the love that they have for you too, man. Well, I guess good spot to end her, unless you got anything else you want to share.
Yeah. What's that?
So I guess that's a good spot to end her, unless you got something else to share.
We're good, man.
Yeah, we'll do a follow up again. Well, thanks, Borg. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. All right. See you.
Thanks for tuning in.